Hey everyone, welcome to Guitar Rehab. My name is Brandon Van Allen, and this channel is solely dedicated on helping you break free from memorization and start learning what you're actually doing on the guitar. Let's just get right down to it. We've got a lot to get through. Today, we're going to be starting up with a 60-second warm-up. We're going to be playing arpeggios of Cmaj7 and G7. Then we move on to our song spotlight, which is going to be Let It Be. We're going to do a quick analysis on that, figuring out the progression. Then we're going to go to guitar check, which is kind of fun. We're going to be taking a look at a TikTok to see if this person is actually pretending to play or actually playing. Then we move on to a viewer challenge where I make up something for you. And then we're going to move on to a guitar myth busters. You need to know a lot of chords to be good. We're gonna figure out whether or not that is a myth or something that you should try, you should be doing. Let's get into it. All right, grab your guitars, make sure you're tuned up. Take your time, rinse and repeat until it sounds nice and smooth, just like the recording there. On to our song spotlight. We're gonna check out Let It Be. Nice. You notice that if you go look in the blue circle of the chord guide there, C is gonna be the 1. That's the 1 chord. That's how we just number them, 1 through 7. Then we have G, which is the 5. It's the fifth note away from the C, which is 1. So we have 1, 5, then 6. Then we have 4 with a major 7. Let's do a quick run through on how to build the major 7 chord. The F major that everyone knows is here. This is in a particular orientation. It goes root, 3rd, 5th, and root again. In order to make a major 7, you have to find the 2nd root, which is here. Once you do that, you're gonna replace that with a note a half step below. And now we have an actual face chord. It's spelled face, F-A-C-E. I usually refer to face as F-A-C as a regular triad. But now we actually have the E at the end of it. That is how you build an F major 7 chord. It's a major chord with a E on top or the 7th note on top. Now we have an F6. 6 just delineates or represents the 6th note away from the name of the chord, which is F. So F, G, A, B, C, D, that's 6. So we're gonna add a D. Just like that. All I did was I played a D right here as just like that. I put my pinky there on a D note. And then you go right into the next chord, which we go back to a C, which is the 1 to the 5. And then we have this quick succession of chords. Now, if you're wondering what a slash chord exactly is on the left side of the slash is the actual name of the chord, so you can start with a C chord. And then on the right side of the slash is what you're going to be putting in the bass. So normally when we play a C, the C note is in the lowest voice. But now what we're going to do is remove it, and instead of strumming from the A string down, which is the 5th string down, we're going to actually strum from the middle finger fretted note, which is the D string, down. Remember the spelling of C is C-E-G, right? This is an E as well, so it's actually part of the chord. So what we're doing is we're inverting the chord. We're playing the notes out of order. So now it goes E, G, C, and then we can play another E again. That's all it takes. You're just replacing the bass note with the note on the right side of the slash. Then we're moving on to D minor 7. If you don't know what a minor 7 chord is, just go over to your fundamental chord first. We're gonna start with D minor. Same thing, we're gonna build this chord as well. This chord's orientation is the other orientation. There's only really 2. We have root 3rd 5th, which is the order alphabetically, and then we have root 5th, root 3rd. That's what this is. Root 5th, root 3rd. Same rule applies here. We're going to take the 2nd root, and when you make a minor 7, you just lower the note a whole step down, replace that 2nd root, and you have your minor 7 chord. Now let's do something cool here. Let's take C to G and A minor and F. Let's take those first 4, and I'm actually gonna show you how we would do those, a smaller triad format here, which we call the high line. So I put the major shapes and the minor shapes at the top in yellow. You see that? They're all labeled root 3rd and 5th in their own respective order. So I'm gonna give you a little example. We're gonna take the C major chord, and I'm actually gonna move it to that major shape first inversion there in the middle. And then what we're gonna do is just go through the sequence of the chord changes. And now we're gonna go to G here. And then we're gonna go to A minor here. And then I'll play F. I'll just keep it as an F, a normal F here for a second, which is 2nd inversion on the major shapes category. See how nice you can add that in there with the person who's playing the regular rhythm? And playing these little shapes, the more that you do this, I'm telling you, your soloing is going to get better, your guitar fills are going to get better. Playing with other people is going to sound better because you're not duplicating what they're playing. You're playing something else that's going to really contrast and sound complementary to that other guitarist if you are playing with one. Great, so that is our spotlight segment. We're going to move on to the guitar check.
Whoa, that's sick. Ha! What is happening? Okay, respect.
This is somebody playing the guitar with just one hand on the acoustic. Over. The song that they're playing is Best Part by Her and Daniel Caesar. Just playing what they're doing, right? You can't play a 4-note chord, which is a D major 7, on 2 strings. The only way to actually play this song So I'm gonna go ahead and call BS on this one. They are pretending. So it's not an easy guitar tutorial, it's a fake guitar tutorial. All right, time to move on to the viewer challenge. If you want to take up the challenge, record yourself on video and send it to me at teachmeatune@gmail.com, and I will talk about you in the next episode and play your video. All right, let's move on to our final segment, Mythbusters. Today's myth. You need to know a lot of chords to be good. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say I don't believe that. I think that's a myth. What you do need to know is understanding what the chord families are. Really, starting with C major, that's all you need to know. So I'm gonna go thumbs down on that one. Let's take a look at something. This is a really good starting point to learn chord families. Now, when you learn a song, you are most likely learning groupings of chords that sound good together. Some that are actually borrowed from another keys that you might not even know. So you're basically just memorizing. Once you can understand a chord family and remember the chord spellings, your retention of that song that you're actually covering or a song that you're gonna write, it's gonna be much easier to execute. So let's take a look here at this page I created. You really only have to know 7 chord spellings. Now, the only thing that's gonna change is the sharps and flats around these 7 spellings. That will come with time. I would rather see you start with C major with no sharps or flats and build upon that. This is what really helped me solidify how to spell all these chords. That's gonna be basically it for the show. This has been Guitar Rehab, and I wanna help people rehab through all the stuff that they've already learned. I wanna get it nice and organized and help you demystify the fretboard. So until next time, I'll see you later.